Katie's 4-year-old hugged a stranger and called him daddy in front of his roaring fans. She had no idea that this innocent action would reveal a secret she nearly died protecting. Daddy! Katie's heart stopped. From the stands, she watched her 4-year-old son sprint past security, straight toward the NHL's biggest star. No, Tommy! She gasped. But the noise of the arena swallowed her voice. On the ice, Logan Reeves turned at the sound of the small voice. Before he could react, the kid Tommy was already hugging him. Logan was hockey's golden boy, the highest bid player of the league championship, and the Bobcats' new center, but certainly not a dad. Kid, I'm not your dad. Logan blinked, crouching slightly to steady the boy. Did you get separated from your mom? No, Daddy, that's Mommy, Tommy chirped, pointing into the crowd. Katie immediately ducked behind the bleachers, scared Logan would see her. Because if he did, she would have to explain why she ran from him 4 years ago, on the day they were supposed to get married. She watched from the shadows as Logan interacted with Tommy. Logan looked down at the frail boy in the oversized Bobcats jersey. Hey, buddy, you don't look well, Logan asked Tommy, worried. Yes, I'm dying, Tommy said, as if it didn't matter. I wanted to meet you before I go to heaven, Daddy. That's the Make-A-Wish kid, Logan's manager told him. He's got leukemia. His mother brought him here. She must be around. Logan's throat tightened. He dropped his hockey stick and knelt beside the boy. Hey, don't say that. You're strong, I can tell. The crowd awed at Logan's consideration for the sick kid. Just like you, Daddy, Tommy beamed with happiness. I am not your dad, though, he gently told Tommy. However, it didn't sound right to Logan himself. There was something familiar about the kid, he just couldn't figure out what. You are, Tommy insisted. I saw your picture in Mommy's purse, and she has the same one-of-a-kind pendant you talked about in that old interview. I checked. Logan froze. What necklace is that kid talking about? Can it be the one I gave her? He thought. What's your mommy's name? Logan asked Tommy in a low voice. He didn't want to hope, but the kid's eye reminded him of her, Katie, his ex-fiancée, the woman who vanished from his life without a trace. Tommy opened his mouth. But just then, a staffer arrived and tapped Logan's shoulder. Sir, we need to move. You've got press and fan meet and greet in 3 minutes. Wait, Logan said, eyes still locked on the boy. But the staff just dragged him out, eager to start the fan meet. Logan started greeting his overzealous fangirls, blissfully unaware that the child he just met was his own. Tommy wailed, unwilling to let go of the man whom he had just claimed as his father. Meanwhile, Katie ran to Tommy and immediately took him home. She couldn't have Logan find the truth, because it meant telling him everything about that night. The night she disappeared. The night she nearly died. The night that turned her from an Olympic athlete to a struggling single mom. Back at home, Katie carried a sleepy Tommy to his room, adjusting his hockey-themed pajamas to cover his delicate skin. Hockey was all Tommy dreamed of, and every time he talked about hockey, Katie couldn't help but hear Logan's voice in her son's. Can I meet Daddy again? Tommy asked in his sleepy voice. Katie didn't answer. She couldn't have Tommy meet Logan again, not when it could put him in harm's way. The next morning, Tommy came running to Katie, a newspaper cutout in his hand. Mommy, look! Daddy looks so handsome here. Tommy showed her an old report of Logan's winning shot. Just like me. He's not your daddy, Tommy, Katie told him strictly. Don't call him that again. No, you are lying, Tommy said, crying. He's my daddy. He held my hand the same way you do, and he even told me I am strong. You are strong, my baby, Katie consoled him. But you are Mommy's good boy too, right? So trust me when I say he's not your dad. But Tommy didn't listen. No, I'll meet Daddy again, and I'll ask him why he left us. You'll take me to him, right, Mommy? Katie didn't answer. What will she even say? That you are right, but you still can't call him Dad? Her mind wandered to what had happened 4 years ago. 4 years ago, she was supposed to marry Logan. But everything changed on that fateful day. Katie wore the white veil and blushed at the thought of being Mrs. Reeves. She was supposed to meet Logan at the courthouse, where they would be married. That was just the beginning of their bright future. Katie and Logan were college athletes and lovers. Passion ran thick in their blood. They had planned to attend the next 2 Olympic Games together, Logan the Winter Olympics for hockey, and Katie the Summer Olympics for track. She also had another surprise for him. Katie placed her hand over her belly and wondered how he would take the news. Once ready, Katie was about to leave her house when the doorbell rang. Thinking that Logan had come to surprise her, she opened the door with a radiant smile. But the smile died when she saw who it was. "You little slut!" Margot Reeves, Logan's mother, yelled as she pushed Katie down. You think I would let my son marry you?" Katie knew Margot disapproved of her, but she had no idea how cruel Margot was. "Logan and I are in love, Margot, and we will get married." Katie stood up. Katie tried to move past Margot, but Margot slammed Katie against the wall and picked up the javelin leaning against the wall. "You little tramp. Look me in the eyes and promise you'll stay away from my son." Katie stared up through tears at Margot, towering over her with the sharp javelin in hand. "Let me go." Margot brought the javelin up over her head, and Katie saw her life flash before her eyes. "Margot, I love your son. We're going to get married." But Margot wasn't going to let that happen. She loomed over Katie with murderous eyes. "Not if I can put a stop to it," but Katie screamed, "Stop, you'll hurt your grandchild." Momentarily, Margot hesitated. "You're pregnant?" Katie nodded, her face wet with tears. "Yes, please, don't hurt us. We're your family, Logan's family." Margot shook her head in disbelief. "Does my son know about this?" Katie hung her head. The pregnancy had come out of nowhere. She was barely 8 weeks along. She hadn't had a chance to tell Logan. And now, with Margot hovering over her with murder in her eyes, she never would. "You'll never be a part of this family, Katie. The Reeves name will never be yours. You're just an inconsequential little girl. My son, Logan, he's destined to become a great politician, like the rest of his family. I won't let some whore and her baby hold him back." Katie shook her head. She and Logan had only been together for a few months, but they had fallen for each other hard and fast. Katie had never had a connection with anyone like this before, had never known a love like theirs was even possible. She knew Margot was wrong. Logan was destined to be a great athlete and an even better father. But Margot was ready to end their dreams in one swing of the javelin. Katie pleaded with her. "Please, Margot, I understand. You want what's best for your son." "And I do too," Katie begged for her life. "What do you want?" Margot bared her teeth. "Leave my son alone for good. Disappear." Katie didn't want to walk away from the love of her life. Everything inside her screamed to fight back. But she had to protect her and Logan's unborn child from Margot's threats. "I'll stay away from Logan. I promise. Just don't hurt the baby." Margot sneered. "You think I'd trust a simpleton like you with my son's future? No, I'm taking matters into my own hands." And that's when Margot brought the javelin down fast and swift, goring Katie through the stomach. Katie clutched her stomach, covered in blood, pooling on her jersey and gushing down from her shorts. "My baby, help!" Helpless, Katie could only scream as Margot walked away. Since that day, Margot had changed the course of Katie's life forever. The attack had sent her tumbling into a pit of endless struggles. Her injuries had put an end to her Olympic running dreams. And worst of all, the stabbing had almost caused her to lose her baby. After several emergency surgeries in the ER, Katie managed to save her unborn baby, but Tommy was born prematurely with endless complications. Katie had slept day after day in the NICU next to her tiny baby's plastic crib, praying the little tubes keeping him alive would work. Doctors warned that due to the trauma when he was in the womb, Tommy's immune system had been compromised, and his life would be difficult. Difficult had turned out to be an understatement. Tommy was facing a constant and life-threatening battle with leukemia, all because of Margot. Yet Katie had kept her promise. She had stayed away from Logan, even at her lowest. She never sought Logan. But now, 4 years later, as she gazed at the handsome face of Logan Reeves on the television, her past had come back to destroy her future. She clutched Tommy tightly and thought, what would happen if Logan found out that he had a son? Katie looked down at her son and hugged him tightly and thought, Logan can never know about Tommy. Thankfully, they will never come face to face again. Katie was unaware that fate would bring father and son together again. But the question is, would this give Katie a second chance at love, or will it destroy her small family? A few days later, Tommy was lying in the hospital after his chemotherapy session. Mom, can I hold your lucky locket? Tommy asked in a weak voice. Katie's heart broke seeing her son suffer. She removed her sapphire locket and handed it to Tommy. It'll be okay, baby, she said and held his hand. I have some exciting news. A nurse came in and said, We just got a call from Make-A-Wish, and they have selected Tommy to meet the new hockey star of the Bobcats. Really? Tommy exclaimed. Katie laughed, seeing her son happy. How could they not? My son is the biggest hockey fan. Come on, kiddo, let's go. Kite and Tommy hustled over to the arena, which was packed with cameramen and press. Tommy beamed as Katie carried him down to the side of the rink, where a Bobcats rep pulled out a jersey with number 19 and swiftly threw it over Tommy's head. Great, it fits perfectly. Come on, kiddo, let's go. Katie waved as Tommy was led out onto the ice, and an usher directed her to a faraway box seat. From above the arena, Katie watched as players came out onto the ice in a frenzy, working around the rink in an impressive formation. And then, a masked player in the number 19 flew out onto the ice, heaving a hockey stick in his arms, and wheeling around all the other Bobcats so fast he made them look like they were in slow motion. Although she couldn't see his face beneath his hockey mask, Katie found herself enraptured by the mystery player's movements. His muscular legs pumped furiously across the ice, and his long blonde curls swayed as he swung his hockey stick and slapped the hockey puck into the goal. He finished his routine by dramatically skating around the edge of the rink and stopped short in front of Tommy, unleashing a flurry of shaved ice. Katie couldn't help but feel a brimming attraction toward the mystery man. And who wouldn't? His long-built legs, his strong chest, his stunning athleticism. Then as he ushered Tommy next to him to take a photo, the man took off his mask and smiled, and Katie nearly fell out of her seat. It had been 4 years, but her heart skipped a beat the second she saw him. The father of her child, the son of the woman who had tried to murder her. Logan Reeves, number 19 and the Bobcats' new center, hugged Tommy close, blissfully unaware that the boy was his own. Smile, Tommy, we're gonna remember this forever. Katie rubbed her eyes. Was it possible she was dreaming that Logan Reeves was standing yards away from her, unchanged since 4 years ago? His chiseled chin, mop of blonde-streaked hair, and strong, muscular posture were all exactly as Katie had remembered them. How, of all places, did he end up back in Chestertown as the anticipated new center of the Bobcats? Hadn't he been on the best team in the NHL? What had made him come here? Katie watched as Tommy, her and Logan's 4-year-old son, snuggled up to the man who didn't know he was his father. This is the best day of my life. Logan pulled the boy tightly to his side, smiling big for the cameras. Say cheese. The cameramen snapped away, capturing their blissful smiles, and Katie couldn't help but feel her stomach churn. Neither of them knew that they were family. Yet there they were, inches from each other. This was too much for Katie to bear. She had to get out of there. Fast. Before one of them got wise and Margot's wrath was summoned again. Katie was lost in her thoughts and did not pay attention when Tommy spotted her standing at the stands. With Logan's back to Katie, Tommy waved at her. Mom, look! The child jumped with excitement. Don't I look good in a jersey? Katie froze in horror as she saw Logan slowly turning to look at Tommy's mother. One look and Logan would figure out Tommy is his son, but he was turning. Any moment now he would see Katie. Suddenly, a reporter called out. Mr. Reeves, could you please look at the camera? Logan and Tommy turned to look at the camera, and Katie took the chance to escape. She reached her beat up and waited for Tommy. She was scared that at any moment her secret would be revealed and her life would be destroyed. But underneath the fear, her heart ached seeing father and son together. No matter how fleeting, she was glad Tommy got to meet his father. Inside the arena, Logan was taking Tommy on a tour. As the door swung open to Logan's private room, Tommy nearly fell to his knees. Is that your hockey stick? Logan laughed. Yep. Tommy jumped up and down. Oh my gosh, this is the best day ever. Can I please touch it? Logan folded his arms teasingly. Can you touch it? How about you give it a swing? Do you know how to use one? Tommy ran up to the hockey stick, grabbing it, but his little arms were weak from all of his treatments, and he struggled. Logan came rushing after him and wrapped his hands on top of his. Here, you gotta grip it like this, and this is how you swing it. He showed the boy with an expertly executed swing, and Tommy burst into excited laughter. Thank you, Mr. Logan Reeves. You're my new favorite player for the Bobcats. Tommy jumped into Logan's arms and squeezed him with an embrace he hoped would last forever. I'll never forget this. Logan touched the boy on the chin and grinned. Hey, bud, call me Logan. We're friends now. Logan ruffled the kid's hair and wondered why he was feeling such a strong connection to him. The next day, Katie was in the clinic, wrapping a session with a client when Jared, her boss, came in. "Today is a big day for you, Katie. You are getting a VIP client," Jared announced. Katie's heart leapt. A VIP client would mean more money. Money that she could use for Tommy's surgery. "Who is it?" she asked. "It's a surprise. I'll just send him in," Jared said, and left. Katie stood expectantly by the massage table, dressing it with paper, when the door swung open. A velvety voice filled the air. "How do you want me?" Katie turned, about to answer, when she nearly fell to the ground. She had managed to avoid him at the rink, but now Logan Reeves was standing right in front of her. She could feel her entire face flushing red and a tingling sensation growing in her stomach extending down her legs. Logan. Logan's eyes widened in surprise. "Katie?" Katie struggled to find her words. It was as though she had been struck by a bolt of lightning. The man whom she had fallen in love with and left without a word 4 years ago was standing right before her. "I'm sorry, Mr. Reeves." Logan, too, seemed frozen in place. "Wow, you look exactly the same." He almost turned as if he wanted to leave the room, but then he stopped. "Of course you're the one with the magic touch." Katie tried to keep her voice even and professional. "I heard your hamstring is bothering you." He stepped toward her. "I've been having some tightness in my leg." He gripped his left hamstring, then winced in pain. Katie was surprised. She wouldn't have known it from his heroic display on the ice the day before at the Make-A-Wish event. "Are you injured?" "No." Logan quickly shut the conversation down. She could tell he was uncomfortable. Years of memories came flooding back. Logan tried hard to hide his emotions. He struggled with vulnerability. He steeled himself, like a great athlete might, in order to push through pain and reach victory. But then Katie's mind began to wander to other places. How his legs felt wrapped around hers, how the muscles on his torso met at his hips, how his strong, hungry hands would trace her body. Katie tried to tamp down a wave of anticipation and pleasure. "Please, lie down on the table, I'll take a look." Logan began to unbuckle his pants, and Katie's eyes couldn't help but move across his built frame. Katie looked up to see him staring at her. "Do you need me to take off my pants?" Katie blushed. "Yes, yeah, you have to, for the treatment. I can leave, though." Logan smirked as Katie went to face the wall, offering some privacy. "I don't remember you being so shy. Haven't you already seen every inch of my body?" Katie felt his words linger in the air. She wanted to let out a moan, a resounding yes. She heard him unzip his trousers and the fabric hit the floor in a heap. She could feel a rush of pleasure come over her. She felt suddenly self-conscious as his deep voice cut the tension. "I'm ready." Katie turned around and approached the table. She quickly warmed her hands with some massage oil and began working her fingers up the length of his toned thigh. Logan could feel his muscles finally relaxing, surrendering to Katie's touch. Logan let out a soft groan as Katie continued to work her way up his leg. Momentarily, the sound transported Katie back in time to memories of their two bodies intertwined. Katie shivered at the memory, and Logan noticed the slight tremor in her hands. He looked up, and Katie felt like they were back in college. The same passion and desire were visible in Logan's eyes. Butterflies filled her stomach as Logan ran a finger over her trembling lips. "God, I want him to kiss me. It's been so long, but I want to feel his lips against mine," Katie thought as Logan brought their faces close. Katie could feel his breath on her face, and all the love that she had suppressed for years came rushing back. One more move and their lips would meet. Katie closed her eyes as Logan pulled her even closer. Suddenly, Katie heard a voice that turned her blood cold. "Mom!" She heard Tommy calling her from the corridor. How could I forget that Tommy was supposed to come to my clinic? Katie thought, and with horror pushed Logan away. Logan misunderstood Katie's action for rejection, and Katie's heart broke at the look of hurt on his face. But he shook his head and said, "Sorry, I didn't mean to make things awkward." Katie couldn't think of anything but the fact that she needed to get Logan out of her office before Tommy came in. If Tommy and Logan came face to face, everything would be over. Logan would discover that Katie had hidden his son from him for so many years. "Mom, let's go home," Tommy shouted as he got closer to her office. "Whose kid is yelling like that?" Logan asked in a surprised voice. "Oh, just a colleague's son, but anyway, we are done. You can go," Katie said hurriedly. "Yeah, I just want to clarify that I want to keep things professional." Logan extended his hand, and Katie took it. They shook on their new arrangement. "Yes, we'll keep things professional," Katie assured him. But that was easier said than done. Even the slightest touch felt like a current. But she did not have the time and luxury to relish the feel of his skin, because she could hear Tommy's footsteps getting closer. Logan nodded and turned to open the door from which Tommy was about to walk in at any moment. "No!" Katie pushed Logan to the other side of the room, where there was another door. "Patients have to leave through this door." Logan gave her a confused look, but Katie just pushed him towards the door. "Okay, next time then." At least Logan was out of the room, and just then Tommy entered. "Mom, can we go home? I'm tired." "Of course, baby," Katie said with a strange smile. That was close, Katie thought. If Tommy had come in a minute early, he would have met his father. Katie had to keep father and son far away from each other. Their lives depended on it. But Katie was unaware that fate had different plans. The next day at the clinic, Katie got a message from Logan saying, "I would like to drop by after training, but I see your schedule is booked. Can you stay after your last appointment?" His formal tone stung, but she shrugged it off. She needed someone to get Tommy, but, well, the money would make a difference. She texted Logan that he could come. When her last client left, Katie made her way to the door to see if Logan was coming, and she heard a frantic buzz coming from the sidewalk. She pushed her way onto the sidewalk, where a group of people was gathered. Katie was horrified to see her own sister, Rachel, in front of the crowd. Rachel held up her phone and was filming. "I'm live streaming from the clinic where new Bobcats center Logan Reeves is about to receive treatment for a mysterious injury." Katie gasped and yanked Rachel aside. "I can't believe you are doing this. I told you about Logan visiting the clinic in confidence. It wasn't for you to advertise it." Rachel put her phone away. "Katie, you know I am a sports influencer. This is a huge opportunity for me. How could I let it go?" Katie tried controlling her anger. "Get these people out of here." Rachel shook her head. "No way. It's a public sidewalk, and practice is over. I know he's going to be here any minute." Katie was trying to think of how to handle the situation, but she had no solution. Meanwhile, in the locker room, Logan slipped his duffel bag onto his shoulder and was about to leave when he got a notification on his phone. Someone had tagged him in a reel outside the physical therapy clinic where he was about to meet Katie. Comments were pouring in under the video. What's wrong with Logan? Maybe the Bobcats bought a lemon. He grimaced. This was the last thing he needed. But that day's drills had pummeled him. He wouldn't be able to keep hiding the injury if he didn't get some treatment for his hamstring. He called Katie. She picked up right away. "I'm sorry. I'm handling it. I thought I could count on you to be discreet." She sighed. "I can't do anything about it if someone snaps a picture of you coming into my clinic." Logan leaned back against the lockers. Damn, he should have figured. Shit. "Okay. Well, can you meet me at my penthouse? I'll give you the code. Just make sure nobody follows you." Katie pressed her eyes closed. Penthouse? So much for keeping things professional. Kate made her way to the skyscraper building, unaware of how her life was about to be changed. She entered the security code in the private elevator and leaned back against the wall as it sailed upward, so high that her ears popped. When the doors opened, she was in a palatial apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows looking out on the city skyline and the river below. Down a hallway, she could see the curved silhouette of a massive soaking tub, a blue-tiled wall, and a huge mahogany bed. She couldn't believe this was where Logan lived. It was so stern, so grown up. Of course, he wasn't a college student anymore, but it still seemed awfully severe for a young sports star. The kitchen was stocked with green juices and complicated chemical-sounding supplements. In the living room, a recessed sofa curled around a fireplace. There was a massive table that looked like it could seat 30. There was even a grand piano in the corner. It fought for space with an almost obscenely large flat-screen TV, which was surrounded by supplemental speakers and a tangled nest of gaming console cords. That was the only part of the apartment that felt like Logan. She smiled as she picked up a controller. Maybe the kid version of him was still in there somewhere. Katie jumped. Someone else was coming up the elevator. She put everything back where she found it and started setting up her massage table. She turned just in time to see a gorgeous blonde in stilettos and a teeny blue dress. The woman tossed her platinum curls and stuck out her hand. "I'm Bianca DuPont, Logan's fiancée, and..." "Who are you?" Katie gulped. She already felt painfully out of place in Logan's showy penthouse apartment. She certainly hadn't been prepared to meet a model-esque blonde in a blue cocktail dress. Katie stood and rubbed a sweaty hand on her scrubs before holding it out for Bianca to shake. "Hi. I'm Katie Smith." Bianca gave her a pleasant but impersonal smile. "Is that a massage table?" "Ah, I bet Logan ordered me a massage because he knows I'm stressed up to my eyeballs planning this wedding." Katie nodded. "Did Logan not tell his fiancée that she was coming over? Where was he?" The last name DuPont was awfully familiar. Katie had seen it recently. She gulped when she realized she must have been thinking about the DuPont wing at the hospital. Just then, Logan came striding into the room, looking at his phone and absent-mindedly dropping his gym bag in the doorway. Bianca tiptoed over and picked up the bag, slightly annoyed. "Babe, I thought we talked about putting away your gym stuff." He looked up and gave Bianca a distracted kiss. "Oh, right." Katie's hands wouldn't stop sweating. She looked nervously from Logan to Bianca, waiting for him to clarify the situation. Logan, I'm happy to reschedule if this isn't a good time." He frowned. "No, it's fine." Bianca crossed her arms. What is she saying? Is this supposed to be a couple's massage? Then why is there only one table? Logan took a bottle of water from the refrigerator. No, that's for me. Physical therapy." Bianca raised an eyebrow. "Really? Do they often do house calls? With women?" Katie hesitated, but Logan answered. "I called her. I need the therapy." "Okay, I'm going to take a little nap," Bianca said, but she looked suspiciously at Katie as she left the living room. "Should we get started?" Logan asked as he lay down on the massage table. Katie started the massage, but just like last time, things started to feel intimate. As her hands glided over his muscular thighs, Katie couldn't help but tremble. It's torture to have him this close, Katie thought with a sigh. Logan looked at Katie as she sighed and placed his hand over hers. "I thought I could keep things professional, but whenever you touch me, I can't help but think about all those nights we spent together," Logan whispered in a husky voice. He pulled her towards him. "I should be angry with you. You abandoned me on the day of our wedding, but every time you touch me, I don't know how to feel." Katie could hear the frustration in his voice. She wished she could comfort him, tell him everything, tell him how she still loved him. But she can't. "Every time I look at you, all I want to do is kiss you, even though I know you don't want me." Logan leaned close, but something caught his eye, and he frowned. Katie gasped when Logan touched her sapphire locket. "You still wear the necklace that I gave you when we got engaged? Why?" Katie could hear the disbelief and hope in his voice. But Katie wouldn't answer. She couldn't. It would be dangerous. "What is happening?" Suddenly, Bianca appeared, and Katie backed away. "It's nothing," Logan said, looking away. "It didn't look like nothing," Bianca snapped. Katie couldn't stand being between them. "I have to go." She started packing her things. Katie knelt down and started breaking down her massage table. Katie winced. Her hair was caught in one of the table's hinges, and she pulled it free with one hand as she hurried to gather everything else into her bag. In all the commotion, her necklace came unclasped and slipped from her neck, its sapphire glinting on the carpet. She didn't notice that it had fallen, but Logan did. Katie blushed and awkwardly made her way past Bianca to the private elevator. Once Katie left, Logan knelt over the sapphire locket where it had fallen. He remembered picking it out for Katie, how excited he had been to give it to her. He grabbed it, cradling it in his hands, and walked toward the bedroom. Bianca tilted her head. "What's that? Where are you going?" "Sorry, babe, I'm really tired. I need to lie down," Logan said and headed to the room. Bianca frowned. Something was very suspicious about that massage girl. Logan was all weird around her, for one thing, and she looked somehow familiar. She curled up on the couch and scrolled back through all of Logan's social media accounts. She could have sworn she had seen a picture of that girl somewhere before, and she was going to find it. She had to scroll all the way back to Logan's college days to find it. But there she was, in a group shot at a pool party. That was definitely the same girl. If they were old college friends, why did Logan act like he didn't know her? And there was another photo from the same party, Logan with his arm around the girl's waist as she whispered something in his ear. "I have to deal with this girl soon," Bianca thought with a frown. The next day, at the clinic, Katie had a long day and was ready to head home when her boss came in. Katie, there's someone here for you, a special client? Katie was confused. I don't think so. I'm done early today. Jared lowered his voice. It's a star of the Bobcats lineup, someone really special. So give them your best, okay? She nodded. It had to be Logan. Of course. I'll be right out. But when Katie entered the waiting room, she didn't find her brooding, hunky ex. Instead, she found an excitable gang of little girls cooing around a platinum blonde in a white, sparkly ice skating dress. Katie's heart churned. It was Logan's fiancée, Bianca. One little girl held up her backpack for Bianca to sign. Another asked her in a solemn, reverent voice what it was like to be a Bobcats ice dancer. Bianca gave the girl her most sugary, princessy voice and said, "It's a dream come true, Angel." Katie's jaw was on the floor. Jared nudged her. "Don't forget, Bianca's dad is the owner of the damn Bobcats. And half the town, practically. I heard that the house visit didn't go well." Katie stuttered. Why didn't this get discussed beforehand? No more room for mistakes, got it, Katie? She nodded. Bianca gave her best Miss Universe wave to the little girls as Katie called her back into the office. But as soon as they were out of earshot, she dropped the sugar and spice act. Katie closed the door behind Bianca. "So, what can I help you with?" Bianca looked around the room, noticing every dingy spot on the wall and every run in the carpet. "Well, Logan says your massages are the best, but now that I see you up close, I don't know if you can really deliver a heavy hand. You know?" Katie nodded her hands together. "Well, I'm trained in a number of modalities." Bianca paced around the room like a predator stalking its prey. "I mean, Logan must be booking you because you're an old friend and he's doing you a favor, right? I saw those pics of you guys in college." Katie swallowed hard. She thought Logan had scrubbed her from his timeline. She had deleted all of her social media accounts after the attack. Bianca came closer. "The two of you looked awfully close. He also said you lost your necklace, a sapphire?" It sounded like a very expensive piece for a physical therapist. With a gasp, Katie's hand flew to her bare neck. "I dropped the necklace," she thought. The necklace was extremely important to her, and she needed it back. Yet she kept her expression neutral. She didn't want Bianca to get more suspicious. But Bianca saw right through Katie. Bianca leaned in and lowered her voice. "I'm the type who would put my hands in the fire for Logan, and I won't back down until everything gets resolved and put in the past where it belongs. You understand me, right, Katie?" Katie took another step back as Bianca loomed over her. Logan's fiancée was all sweetness on the outside, but once she dropped the act, she was about as friendly as a pit viper. Bianca's eyes narrowed. "I don't know what you were to Logan, and I don't want to know. But whatever it is, it's long over. You understand?" Katie's heart was racing, but she refused to let it show. She took a deep breath and kept her voice level. "Sure, I understand." Bianca nodded and turned to leave. But something caught her eye, and she looked at Katie's desk. To Katie's horror, Bianca was looking at a photo frame of her and Tommy together. "Do you have a son?" Bianca asked and added, "I feel like I have seen the kid somewhere." "This is bad. Bianca will figure out Tommy is Logan's son. Oh God, will she tell Logan?" Katie panicked and didn't know what to say. Katie was saved from answering when someone knocked at the door, and Katie practically jumped out of her skin. It was her boss, Jared, with a tray of juices and bottled water. He brought the tray to Bianca and bowed slightly. "Miss DuPont, I thought you might enjoy something to drink." Bianca looked down her nose and took a green juice. "Thanks. It's the least you can do." Katie wanted to roll her eyes. She had never seen her boss wait on a client like this. Jared practically bowed. "I hope all is to your liking." Bianca gave him an icy smile. "Totally. Katie seems to know how to follow instructions." She turned to Katie and arched an eyebrow. "Isn't that right?" Katie watched with a heavy heart as Bianca offered her a final meaningful stare, then flounced out of the room. Later that night, Katie mustered up the courage to call Logan. "I need that necklace back," she thought as she dialed his number. After a few seconds, Logan picked up, but Katie didn't give him a chance to talk. "Logan, I know you have my necklace. I want it back." Katie was scared that he would refuse or get angry, but Logan's voice was completely emotionless as he said, "Meet me at Waterfront Park. I can be there in 20 minutes. At Waterfront Park, Katie found Logan on a park bench looking out at the choppy gray waves. He took an envelope out of his pocket and put it on the bench next to him. Katie sat and looked inside. When she saw the twinkling sapphire, she let out a sigh of relief. Thank God, thank you for bringing this back to me. Logan turned to her annoyed. Why? Katie held the envelope in her lap. Why what? Why did you keep it? Why do you still wear it? You didn't even respect me enough to dump me to my face, so why the hell would you want to keep something that I gave you? Katie gritted her teeth. God, how she wished she could tell him the truth. Because I love you. Because I never stopped loving you. Because you gave me a son, and he's the best part of my life. But she knew she couldn't say anything even remotely like that. Katie hadn't heard from Margot Reeves since the attack, but she had never forgotten Margot's threat. The woman had tried to kill her unborn child. God only knew what else she was capable of. Katie's silence only made Logan seethe. See? You don't even respect me enough to give me an answer. I don't get it, Katie. If you hate me so much, why keep this? Her hands tightened around the envelope. There's a lot that you might not be able to understand. I wish it could be different, but I've made my peace with it. I hope you can do the same. Logan shook his head. His anger was growing. Try me. I want to understand. I've spent my whole life since then wondering what the hell happened to you. His voice got quieter. Why did you leave me standing on the courthouse steps all those years ago? She swallowed. She had to say something. She tried to find something that was at least halfway true, because the thought of lying to Logan made her sick. I didn't know if marrying you would be the right thing for my future. Logan looked up at the sky. Fine. So why wear the stupid necklace every day? She took a deep breath. If you want it back, I understand. Logan threw his hands up. Jesus. No, I don't want it back. I don't care about the necklace. I care about you. In a performative gesture, he grabbed the envelope from Katie and threw it in the water. Katie gasped. Before she knew what she was doing, she jumped into the water after it. She hit the water with a slap and the cold seized her lungs. She searched frantically in the water for the envelope, which was falling out of sight. She took a huge breath and dove, her hands grasping in front of her, until one of them closed on the envelope and clenched around it. But she wasn't a good swimmer, and the water was cold. She started to feel dizzy, and would have passed out if a hand hadn't pulled her out. The edges of Katie's vision were hazy. Her body was numb, and her teeth were chattering so hard that her jaw ached. She was vaguely aware of being tossed into the passenger seat of Logan's car, driven at high speed across town, carried into a building and up an elevator. He carried her into his apartment and turned the shower on full blast. He leaned Katie up against the wall. We need to get you out of these wet clothes. Do you need my help? Katie's shaking hands tried to unfasten her jeans, but they were too unsteady. She whispered, Yes. Logan nodded and undid the button and zipper and lifted Katie's t-shirt over her head. He turned away to give her a little privacy as she pulled off the rest of her clothes. Before he looked away, he saw a dark pink scar down the middle of her belly and an even thicker scar to the left of it in her gut. Logan frowned. Katie, what happened to you? But just then, her phone rang in her bag. She looked over Logan's shoulder to see the phone peeking out of her bag. Her eyes widened when she saw it was Tommy's call. Her son's image appeared on the screen. Thankfully, after a few rings, the phone stopped ringing. But before Katie could relax, the phone went on again. Let me get that for you. If someone is calling again, it might be important. Logan turned to get Katie's phone, which was flashing Tommy's image. No, Logan can't see the phone, Katie thought with dread. But what would happen when Logan saw Tommy's image on Katie's phone? Would he figure out their connection? Or would he hate Katie for hiding something so huge from him? Katie was too scared to find out what the consequences could be. Logan, no, stop, Katie said desperately. But Logan ignored her. Suddenly, somebody knocked on the bathroom door. It was Bianca, back from drinks with the girls. Babe, what are you doing in there? Bianca pounded on the bathroom door. Logan? The doorman said he saw a woman go up with you. What's going on in there? Logan looked between Katie and the door. Crap. She wasn't supposed to be back yet. Babe, is that the shower running? You better get your cute butt out here right now and tell me what's up. Logan nudged Katie into the shower. Get in. I'll distract her until you can sneak out. The warm water felt glorious on Katie's cold skin. Finally, the chill was fading, replaced with warmth. She looked at Logan. Are you sure? He fiddled with knobs in the shower. A cloud of hissing steam emerged. There. I turned the steam shower up to full blast. That ought to hide you. at least for a minute or two. Katie nodded. She couldn't believe she was stripped down to her underwear, just a few feet away from her ex and his new fiancé. Logan pulled his t-shirt off over his head and reached for his belt buckle. Katie's heart pounded. What are you doing? Logan's jeans hit the floor in a heap. He hissed back. Bianca won't believe that I was about to get in the shower if I'm fully clothed. Katie raised an eyebrow. She had seen a hint of Logan's physique the other day in her office, but this was the whole enchilada. He wasn't just cut. He was chiseled. Logan's abs rippled under his skin as he kicked his clothes aside and flung his sandy hair out of his face. A rivulet of steamy water ran down his chest. Logan noticed her lingering gaze and raised an eyebrow. Pervert. She gave a surprised laugh. It was the first time Logan had given her anything but a sneer. But he raised a finger to his lips. You can sneak out after I get her out onto the balcony, got it? Katie nodded, and Logan flung the bathroom door open. Logan grabbed Bianca around the waist and twirled her around in a circle. She giggled. He buried his face in her chest and gave a playful growl. Get over here, Bianca shrieked happily. What's gotten into you? Logan grunted. You smell good. I bet you taste good too, Logan. In the shower, Katie's stomach fell. She knew that he had to distract Bianca so she could sneak out, but did he have to do it this way? Her cheeks burned. She felt incredibly stupid. For a moment, when they were both stripped down and conspiring together, she had felt a little flash of the old spark between them. But this was reality. Logan was engaged to this ice-blonde rich girl. He didn't belong to Katie anymore. In fact, he hated her guts. Beyond the bathroom door, Katie heard their voices grow distant. Then a patio door slid open and closed again. This was probably her best chance at escape. She dashed out of the shower, wincing as she put on her cold, wet clothes. She poked her head out of the bathroom and saw that Logan and Bianca were in the heated infinity pool on their balcony, their heads bobbing close together as they kissed. Katie looked away fast. She noticed Logan's wool coat draped over the couch and wrapped herself in it. He had hidden Katie's purse underneath. She scooped up her things and ran for the door. Once outside, Katie breathed a sigh of relief. Katie shivered at the thought of Logan being close to her. But seeing him with Bianca was a huge wake-up call. The only thing important was Tommy. She had to protect her son no matter what. Logan could never know that Tommy is their child. But Katie was unaware that fate had different plans that would unravel her every secret and destroy her life. For the next few days, Katie concentrated on Tommy and her work. She had to arrange for funds for Tommy's surgery, and it was proving difficult, but she somehow managed it. On the day of the surgery, Katie sorted things at the billing office and headed to Tommy's room. She was nervous about the surgery, and she wanted to hold her son's hand before he was taken to the operating theater. She was about to enter the room, but she stopped mid-stride. Noah was inside, his hand on Tommy's shoulder, and so were Logan and Bianca. What are they doing here? Katie thought as her heart hammered in her chest. Had Bianca brought Logan here because she had figured out Katie's secret? She couldn't set foot in that room or Logan would realize Tommy was her son. But Bianca caught Katie standing near the door, and she smirked like she knew something. Katie remembered how Bianca had seen a photo of her and Tommy together. Had Bianca figured out the truth? Katie watched in horror as Bianca turned to Logan and said, Logan, Tommy's mother is hiding a huge secret from you. Will Bianca reveal Katie's secret and tell Logan Tommy is his son? What will happen when Logan finds out Katie had hidden Tommy from him for 4 years? Will Katie be able to protect her son? To find out what happens next, download the Pocket FM app in the next minute to get free access to 10 free episodes of Love in Overtime. Hurry before the offer disappears. Install Pocket FM and enjoy free episodes now.